1935. First order on the business to be recognition of the public. Donald Spencer is here, and Herb Meyer is here, and Ian is here doing a good thing. And we have a special guest, Penny Marine, here tonight to talk about rescue. Other than that, it's us. Approval of minutes of the last meeting.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
And Penny, you're up.
Okay. I'm here tonight just to kind of let the board know, it's been 2 years since I've been on the rescue board as a trustee representing the town of Guilford. And due to different events taking place or have been taking place in the last 6 months in rescue, I just wanted to let the board know I'm spending a lot of time. And, okay, you have a schedule?
Yeah. I had one. I looked at it. I see what you did. Yeah.
Just
Are
kinda
you on the
wanted to give-
executive committee?
Yes, November there is the annual member rescue meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, after the meeting's done, then the board goes into another meeting. And that's when we pick our different committees. And I got volunteered for the executive committee.
Are you responsible for that?
No.
Good.
No.
How many committees are there? Are there many?
There's 4. Executive committee, financial committee.
There's a lot of meetings.
There's like a fundraising committee that actually they have prime time that they pay to do that for them.
Could you have an alternate? Would they accept that? So you don't have to do it? Well, I mean, you still have to be somewhat involved, but I mean, that's a lot of meetings. And,
Well, yeah, like I said, up until the first year and a half was not bad. And unfortunately,
Yeah, it looked like about one a month
yes.
until January of 2013.
Yes, and then due to circumstances, as you can see, like I'm doing 2 executive meetings in a row before our trustee meeting, which is every 3rd Tuesday of the month.
So regardless of what kind of meeting, you had 3 meetings in January, 3 meetings in February, 2 in March, 3 in April, 3 in May. That's a lot. 4, 5?
5 in June.
And they last anywhere from 2 to 3 hours.
Wow.
Yes, with not a lot being accomplished.
Who's on the, I mean, the nature of the trustees meetings, how many people at the trustees meetings?
There's 9 of us.
And at the executive committee?
4.
So I don't see how she could have an alternate when you've got a small group like that. They depend on everybody knowing the same stuff.
Yeah.
So you have said, and I'm aware that we're on camera and it may be of a sensitive nature due to things that are going on. Is there anything that you can discuss that explains this acceleration with the number of meetings?
Well, Brian Richardson, who was the assistant chief operator,
Mm-hmm.
gave his notice middle of February.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what started the ball
Mm-hmm.
rolling. As the executive committee,
You have to
part
find
of
a new.
the hiring, as far as interviewing, checking credentials, and then recommending to the board. And then it's up to the board trustees to then in turn decide who should be
Hired. What's the
hired for
timeline?
that position.
When do they expect to have somebody hired?
Yesterday.
Seriously? You mean like yesterday?
Seriously, in February, middle of February, Brian left, and then in the middle of April, Mark Considine, who is the chief of operations, who's been there 27 years, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
has stepped down from his position effective December 31st.
He's chief
So-
operating officer?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they never really replaced David Dunn, as I understand it,
No.
per se.
So then that's also been brought to the table of an executive director.
Aren't they hiring right now?
That's what all this is about, and nothing's.
So you're telling me they're not sure they're hiring?
We're trying. Unfortunately, there's conflict between the trustees, board members, and the members of rescue.
About what they want or about who to hire? Just about even the role they want?
Yes.
Is it? Are they having some turmoil over how the organization should be structured?
Yes.
That's really
That
what the
started
crux of it
actually
is.
a
They're
year
talking
ago.
about restructuring.
Well, the reason I'm confused is just because Rob, my husband, was asked to serve on a hiring committee. So it sounded to me that's meeting tomorrow night.
Yes, and as of right now, there are no candidates.
Okay, because it sounded to me like they had decided on a process if he was
Mhm.
going to that.
Yes, yes, we did.
And that the decision was to hire an executive director. But it sounds like that's not
An interim,
ah.
an interim COO, who
Mhm.
then in turn, they would hire an executive director.
So in the meantime, the executive committee's kind of holding things together without Mark and without this Brian Richardson.
Well, Mark is still there.
Uh-huh.
The unfortunate part is because he is stepping back, he's actually pretty quiet.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't say one thing or another. He's just kind of. We're hoping as the trustee of the board to hire somebody in Mark. We would like this. We would have liked 9 months. Now it's down to 6 months, and it will be even less. For Mark to help whoever comes on board to transition into the position.
I wonder why there are no candidates. Teaching positions in the town, there are like 100 candidates. I mean, I'm surprised.
So are there 3 openings? Chief operating officer, chief financial officer?
Oh, yes, that's another
And
thing. The chief
an executive
financial
director?
officer just gave her notice. She's done as of July 14th.
So this is an organization, frankly, it sounds like back in turmoil.
Yeah.
It has been, and it's getting worse
Oh, I'm sorry.
before moving forward.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no real direction,
Mm-hmm.
or the little bit of direction that was there is dwindling fast.
What can we do to support you? It sounds like you're in a tough position.
Yeah, I just really wanted you to be aware.
I mean,
'Cause it's
part
a
of me,
frustrating board.
yeah, it sounds like it. Part of me, when I first heard about this, I thought, whoa, they need to restructure. They're doing too many meetings and their meetings are too long. But listening to what you're saying, it's a bigger problem than that.
Yes, yes, it is. And it's just, I'd like to be, if this continues, to be compensated a little bit for it,
Mm-hmm.
just because of
Oh, yeah. That's
between working in, actually I'm on 2 boards, so
Mhm.
another one outside of rescue, which that one I enjoy, so. But I
How
think
do the
as
other
a town
people-
too, without going into great detail, I think you need to be aware that currently it's not a, in my opinion, it's not a good situation.
Right.
And actually, if you guys have any suggestions that I can bring to the meeting.
I don't want to get into personalities, you know. The
No,
thing
no.
Yeah.
I mean, is
I
how
wonder,
they
here are
might
things
wanna
that I,
proceed
yeah, I
forward.
mean, one thing that I wonder is who's chairing the meetings in that they are being allowed, it sounds like the meetings are less than effective in their use of time. But there's the bigger issue is they're not sure about their structure.
Have they
Right.
per chance looked into having somebody come in from the outside and restructure the whole organization?
That's a good idea.
I mentioned that actually in our executive meeting last month. I'm not sure why, but for some reason rescue kind of wants to keep it in-house,
It's not doing any
which,
good.
no. And that's been I think that's where the conflict's been in the meetings, where we really aren't moving forward because they're
Right.
kind of stuck.
Yeah, that would be my best suggestion, is have an outside person come in and
Have
do
a
it.
hire an interim executive director that
Well,
Or even one of those hiring firms that
The-
looks at,
yeah.
before you get there, looks at the structure and,
there's all kinds of
Sure,
companies
maybe
come in
you're right.
and just say, this is what you need
and
to
then
do,
that
bang,
person
bang, bang.
cannot become the executive
Right.
director.
Yeah,
They
right.
come in, do the interim, set it in place
Mhm.
so that they pass the baton to someone else, so that it leaves the organization not in flux while they're in search, but provides strength, to there
Because
are
the
firms that do
board-
that. They come in, they get everything organized, get a nice org chart laid out, and with the idea that that person, that's what they come in, they do, they fix, they go.
And they go on, yeah.
Yeah, and it could be someone that moves in that would be really hard for them to move in now because there's disorganization. Where if they provide that organization, it's a seamless transfer for some, maybe in-house, maybe not. Or maybe
Right.
someone else might step forward from the community that would want to do it, who sees that there's now structure that, you know, a lot of people might say, I'm not just going in there now.
I went through 2 of those in the mill, and like I said, they come in and boom, 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 and they're gone.
I don't know enough about it, but
I want to get back to what Penny said about looking for compensation. Would you be looking to the town for compensation? Obviously, Rescue doesn't have any money to compensate its board
Right.
members.
Yeah,
Is there any precedent? Do other towns do
I
that?
don't know what
I don't know, to tell you the truth.
I don't either. You could ask.
Yeah,
Ask
I could
other
ask them
town
to-
reps to see how they're
I have a
compensated.
meeting on the 10th, Wednesday, and then another one next week, so.
I mean, she
Wednesday.
could flex her time if she's spending an inordinate time there. She
Well,
could
yeah.
flex her time here to
Mhm.
pick up some of that.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
that
lot-
could
it's a
count.
lot of
If
time.
that's if that position is part of your responsibilities in your town clerkship, then that's a good suggestion.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to. So I mean, we've had other
That's
reps.
even- Yeah, that's a thought too.
Mhm.
Not, compensate hours working.
Yeah.
It seems like some of these volunteer positions, Wyndham Solid Waste is the same. Seems to be where more regulation is coming in and there's more meetings.
And that's another thing too with Rescue, with the Health Connect coming through. That's only adding to,
Their revenue
There-
issues, probably.
their circumstances.
So at this
So-
point, what are we going to do? Take for action?
There's no action we can really take right now, other than the suggestion we've given, and we look into the compensation piece.
Which your last suggestion, actually, I think,
Yeah, I would be
Because
hesitant to
I
set a
think this
precedent about
will-
paying for that
yeah.
comping time.
I think more time that I'm, here, and this should eventually lessen and get back to where I was, which
Right.
that wasn't bad when it was
Once a month.
right. And the executive meeting actually is a week. It was to be twice a month.
But if
But-
you didn't have
but
anyone to hire,
Without
would your
everything
executive-
that's going on right
Right.
now, the executive meeting was very short. Versus now that one's even a couple hours long.
All right, well, we wish you the luck for the town.
Godspeed.
So I just kind of really it was, trying to put a lot of hours in,
Yeah.
making the board aware of that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and your input which this sounds good, which I have suggested, but I will only enforce at my
Yeah. And I'd
next
say, I mean, that's-
meeting that they really should
Yeah.
look outside
Yeah,
and
I think they should. It seems like they're a little too close to the forest to see the trees.
Yeah,
Right.
it sounds to me like there's a bunch of infighting and bringing an outside organization and they go right through and boom. It might cost a little bit, but be worth it.
Okay, that was it.
Thank you. Go home.
Okay,
Only stayed
yeah,
another
go
meeting a minute
I
longer than you
know.
have
I
to.
felt bad even asking her. Can you come home with me?
Mr.
This is
Spencer,
just this year's minutes and stuff.
maybe we can hear from you next, I believe.
Sure. Want me to come up there or sit right back here?
Yeah,
Wherever you're comfortable.
yeah.
I'm already
Thank
seated.
you for listening.
Take care, Penny.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Don't do that very often, but
Already seated and y'all pretty much know me, so. Right now I am helping out a group called Ruck Up. So actually, they're based out of Keene, but they're with Vietnam Veterans of America and United Spinal, it's a service organization to help area veterans with finding jobs, finding housing, getting compensation claims filed and processed as necessary. They've requested a boot drop to be done at the corner of Guilford Center Road and Route 5 down Algiers, where we've actually done them in the past. The primary date that we've requested is the 14th of September, and it would be from 9 to 5.
Have you not in the past requested, or maybe you have for other organizations, a fair day?
No,
That's the fire
That's the
department,
fire department.
auxiliary that does that one.
I'm sorry,
no, he's been several years.
on the 14th.
No, not on the 14th, but there's several years he's done boot drop.
Oh, I knew that. I thought I was mistaken. I thought it was
Yeah.
during.
No, that's fine.
okay.
Can you just tell me the name of your organization again?
Called RUCK,
Can you spell?
RUCKUP.
All one word.
Correct.
I don't know what a ruck is.
I
Richard,
do.
you know what a ruck is? You know what a ruck is, don't you?
But I
I
wanted
know.
to be sure, is it
Oh.
all one word together? Is it
It's
two?
fine.
I just want to be sure I get the organization name right.
Yeah.
Don't want to.
I don't. Rucksack.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what
Yeah.
it is.
What it's for, and it's called RUCK Up, pick up your
Like
pack and
buck
carry your
I
load.
guess I do.
I'd like to make the motion that we approve a boot drop for the 14th of September for the ruck up.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just as long as they wear safety vests.
Yeah, he's a veteran at this.
I know.
so-
I know you are,
Safety
but I
vests,
just-
we'll have cones, and we'll also contact the state police and the county sheriffs, as we have done in the past, just to let them know, so that we have no conflicts. I'll also go down and talk to people at the country store like I've done in the past.
Okay, and the fire chief probably would be helpful, just
Right.
where it's right there.
And last time, actually, the Richmonds, they allowed us to use their parking lot for organizing everything, so to get all the vehicle off the
Great.
street and
That's
stuff.
nice. It's nice of you to do that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, 37 years in, I figured I should give something back, right?
Yeah.
And besides, I gotta come hang out with this guy out at the range every once in a while too, right?
Yeah.
So,
All right, Mr. Herb.
Alright,
thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
so tomorrow Dick and Leah and I are gonna go get the bus, and I
Get
didn't
on
know
the bus.
whether Katie had. I had brought out a copy of an MOU that I made up for Guilford Cares and a copy that I made up for the Unity Church, and Katie has felt that it would be appropriate if we roll that into one MOU between the town of Guilford, Guilford Cares and the Trinity Church. So I don't know whether she has completed it or not,
I'm halfway through it.
but
I started at
we
about
will-
4.
Can we make a motion without it completed, or would we need to have it done?
We'll just look at that at a later
do we
date. or just-
I mean, it can be done if
you wanted to show them the one that I did and that you're just combining into two into three? And basically, because I didn't want people coming to me and saying, well, can we use the van or can we use the bus? I said that the Guilford Cares policy is to go see Guilford Cares to use it. Whether you've changed that or not, I don't know.
I haven't gotten that far.
Okay, and that it would be
Probably
parked
not.
at the church, that there would be the folder, if you will, or the live book, instead of keeping it here, would be kept in the bus, which would be kept at the church, and each
What's the difference
entity would have a set of keys.
Guilford
Same
Cares,
thing,
Guilford
isn't it?
Community
Yeah.
Church.
These are the same thing?
This one's Guilford Cares. Is that one?
Community church.
Memorandum of understanding.
Yeah,
okay, thank you.
Because it seemed like
Where
the
the-
church would use it more than the other entities, that they would be responsible for scheduled maintenance, oil changes, and that type of stuff. Then they would be required to fill it with gas when they're done, and they'd have to keep a log sheet or a trip ticket. Dick and Troy and I know what trip tickets are, but they may not know what they're called, but that's what it'll be.
So yeah,
Sorry, I'm hearing that guy, but it's so hot. I don't know.
you're going to have a certain list of drivers.
Yes, I mean, Lucy, what's her name, from the church said that, well, can anybody drive? And I said, no, you'll have to pick certain people. Make photocopies of their driver's license, be kept in the logbook, and only those people, after they've been checked out, if you
They're the same.
will be able to drive it.
Similar.
Lucy's Bar Blase.
But I thought it made sense to put it in one with all parties signing so that everyone was
So that's
on the
where
same
we
sheet of
got
paper.
it.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
So where are you gonna go pick it up tomorrow?
Bethlehem. We're gonna go to Bethlehem.
Bethlehem.
We'll be back in about a month. No,
But it doesn't require a special license at all to drive it. So
No.
so it would be easy to change out drivers if they needed to.
that's right.
It's not like anybody would have to be
Don't
trained.
need a CDL if it's less than 16 passengers, including the driver.
Okay.
I'll make a motion. Do we need a motion?
Unless, do you want to authorize the board chair to?
That's what I was gonna say,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd like to make a motion to authorize the board chair to sign on behalf of the board a memorandum of understanding among the Guilford Community Church, Guilford Cares, and the town of Guilford as to the appropriate use and documentation of the use of this minibus.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Quarterly checklist.
Actually, I have to have you sign that.
Oh,
It's already all submitted, but we need that little
I just-
signature.
I knew I brought my new pen for some reason.
I thought you were gonna say your new glasses.
I got something in my eye this afternoon and I'm having trouble
Really?
focusing. Yeah. Don't need any motion on that or anything.
Yeah, could someone move to authorize the board chair?
I'd like to make the motion that we have the board chair sign the quarterly checklist for the emergency management.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
WWHT Housing Open House.
There's an open house on the 10th, Wednesday, I think from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, or 4:30 to 6:30. I mentioned this to you guys just at the end of the meeting, so I wanted to go on the record and ask you formally if you would like me to speak on behalf of the board or not. And what I would speak of if I spoke on behalf of the board is the benefit to the town, primarily from the water line, and especially to the church and the firehouse, and as well as the other businesses and residents in the town of Algiers. Really looking at that aspect of this project and what it brought to Algiers and Guilford. But if you would rather, I would only do that with a motion from the board and approval from the board. So that's up to you guys.
Deep sigh.
You want me to speak on your behalf?
I'm not going.
Well, it's really just about, because I could
Are you
phrase.
going?
No, I don't. I might, but I don't. You can speak anywho.
Okay, well, you want to make a motion, or, I guess Troy would have to.
Yeah, make the motion.
Yeah, you just go ahead.
You don't have to? Okay,
No.
I just wanted to,
You can speak for us.
okay, thank you.
But we don't need a motion on that.
Yeah,
Right
it's on
here.
camera.
We're all right here.
Yeah. Just don't
I
feel-
wouldn't want to go in a public situation speaking on behalf of the select board and saying, wait a minute, she's
That
not
was
speaking
never
on my.
discussed.
That was never
Well,
discussed,
it-
so I just wanted to
yeah,
discuss
we
it. Don't-
discussed it.
Just be
Okay.
careful what you say, that's all.
That's right. Don't be called.
I'm going to think of some fun things I could say.
Sit over on the
So don't
hill.
I, and I'm sure they don't agree with what you were going to say.
Should I get one of those air horns and sit over
Yeah.
there on the other side of the
Right.
bank when she starts?
I'll
to
give
say
him a hookah
something?
horn hooked up.
Was there an action? Was there an action?
No, we don't need
No.
one.
No,
Okay.
I
Okay.
decided they didn't need a motion.
Algiers water line to the Guilford Community Church. There seems to be, or there was a little confusion as to who did what and why, and I think it straightened out now, but.
I did. I just needed.
Yeah, what was that all about?
There was some confusion about some felt that the town was paying for the church's water. There was some discussion about that. The church was moving ahead thinking they were bringing the line to the church, and before they got too far into it, that was when I asked that question of the board. That was the understanding, that the bond would bring the water line to the fire department and to the church, which is the shelter.
Right.
So I wanted to get clarification from you guys on that before I approached the church and said, how far are you into this? Because the town will do the piece that gets it to your building.
Gets the infrastructure to the
To the building,
Not-
correct.
yeah.
Right.
They'll
I
have
thought
to get the
that's what we
permit.
had
They'll have to get the
talked
connection
about.
with a
Sure,
plumber.
and we
all
got the
that stuff.
infrastructure to the building. In fact, we offered to get it inside the building of the firehouse, and they said no.
They declined.
But
Right.
Yep,
but
that
that's
was part
fine.
of-
So yeah, I thought it was the same for both of them.
So
Infrastructure, not
I think
water.
there was some confusion in that, where probably members in the church community saw that the brakes were getting pulled back. They heard, oh, the town's paying for the water, so it was maybe some misinformation or not clear communication. That I asked Lee Sparrow for any of the bid information that they've sought already for the work that they've done, so that when we'll have to go out to bid for it, so that we can include those same contractors, maybe with an explanation, because they don't need to go out to bid where we would.
I see. Okay. For the work of getting the line to
To
the
the
church
church.
building itself.
Yep, exactly.
There was one contractor that questioned whether it could all be one bid or not, and it can't be, it could be two separate.
What do you mean, all what?
But getting the water to the church and getting the water into the church,
I
all
see.
in one bid, and it can't be. It's gotta
No,
be-
it's,
it's gotta
we
be
have
one-
to do
two
our
separate
own.
entities.
Yep. And, depending upon who the contractor is, they might have to subcontract somebody to tap the line.
Right.
So, some contractors have the ability to do it and others don't, so, because it's a wet tap. So, I just wanted to kind of be clear that we could put together a package and go out to bid for this and get this work done. They're, in the permitting process. I don't think their permit's approved yet, so it's not like it would go to construction, but we would get that piece done.
How long would it take, for us to go through the bid process?
Probably not long.
Okay. Just curious.
It depends. Do you want? I would probably have to advertise the
That's
bid
what I was
versus it being local.
Mhm.
I'm going to need to get clarification from the bond bank as
Mhm.
well on how they'd like it to be done.
Mhm.
I think.
I mean, it's already laid out, it's not like they got it
What do you mean?
all surveyed.
line's all laid out.
The line, the plan
It
is
should-
all there, just a matter of,
Of doing the work.
yeah.
Yeah. So they might have certain procurement that we would need.
Mhm.
They would like us to follow. We don't have a bid policy, so we're kind of. I just need to figure that out. So I just wanted you
Yep,
to.
good, just to make sure we're all
On the
aware of the
same
same. That's my memory of what we had
Yep.
said.
And I had found reference in the minutes to it that I had sent out just to clarify. So I was gonna just on this final agreement that I would start to put together bid information to get out and follow up on it.
Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
VTEL, 45-day notice request for recommendation.
This is a package that came from, VTEL's attorney's office is really what it is. They're putting, or would like to put up a wireless telecommunication facility on Barney Hill Road on the Boyd Farm.
A wireless telecommunication facility.
A pole,
Okay.
a
Tower.
tower.
Not a
Thank you.
cell tower?
It's a broadband tower. We have a ordinance,
Right.
and they know that,
Mhm.
so it falls within the guidelines
Okay, that's what I
of
was
the
curious
ordinance.
about.
Yes, and this package came. It's a 90-foot pole that exceeds the tree line by 20 feet, and it's necessary to get the signal. They're going to be doing a balloon float, which will enable them to put together some maps so that they can give a good idea what the view shed will be.
And then
once the pole is
do the
erected.
neighbors have the chance
Everybody's, there's a butter, it's not an Act 250, but they've notified a butters, and there was question if the town wanted any sort of public hearing process for this.
I mean, I don't think we had a
We don't
public hearing
require it.
process when we did it down on Slate Rock Road or wherever that was. And somehow the neighbors we must have notified just the neighbors.
We don't have to
So
notify
we don't
anybody.
have to do nothing.
It's the burden is on them to do that.
The
Right.
burden
And
is
then-
on the,
Retail.
Yeah.
The
Retail,
people
sure.
applying for the
Okay.
permit.
At this point, if the abutters
Goes
have
on the
all
Public Service
agreed
Board.
to it, I don't know what else we need to do.
No, as long as it's not in violation of our ordinance.
Yeah.
so if abutters agree to it, what about people with a view that aren't abutters? Do they have any?
That was where I was kind of getting at, but we don't really have a,
There's no zoning, there's no.
yeah,
No, I know there's no zoning, but we do have a cell tower.
right, and if it complies with the ordinance,
Okay,
then.
that's all I
Yeah.
care about.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we're in compliance there.
So how much do you wanna
and that's
step
another
in?
ordinance that probably ought to be revisited at some point because cell tower opinions have changed considerably in the
Mhm.
last.
I have to say that if we did that ordinance, that would be municipal planning grant money.
Yeah.
It would have to.
Yeah.
No one has the expertise to be able to draft.
As
an
I
ordinance.
recall, when that one came out, there was a big uproar about cell towers and
Well, there was, but I think that was a boilerplate ordinance that we had gotten from this way before your time, Katie and Troy. But we'd gotten it probably from Vermont League of Cities and Towns, and we had enacted it pretty quickly. We were one of the few towns that had a cell tower ordinance, which it was down on either Slate Rock or one of those roads off Route 5.
The first one I was involved was in Slate Rock. I think the one you're talking about was before that.
The Lowry Road.
Was that it?
Lowry Road got theirs. Those are in Vernon, right?
No, but it went to Vernon when it couldn't get accepted at.
Right, in
it-
Guilford.
Yeah.
The one on Slate Rock is down in Bernardston.
Okay.
They were looking in my backyard too, and ended up moving a half mile down the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know what the ordinances need to be updated is or not. I just want to
Well,
be sure we're
I
following what we
wouldn't
got.
worry about
Yes,
it right at
that's
the moment,
fine.
but,
Thank you.
yeah,
So
we don't really need to take any action on
Nope.
it at this point.
it's
Just-
not a town issue.
Mm-hmm.
Petition notification in order for the tree cutting and trimming within the highway right of way, Green Mountain Power.
It's like the utility permission
Yes.
night.
Yes.
There is a property on Green River Road owned by E. Connor Hannon. Do you know her? Him?
Green River Road.
Green River Road, and the power poles are across the river, and they want to bring them. They got damaged during the storm Irene.
Okay, yes.
So I talked with Danny about this particular request about trimming the trees and moving the power. He's like, "We're fine. I'm fine if they do that. It'll be easier access for them."
Yeah.
So as long as we give them permission to
Yeah, I know it. I didn't know who owned the property, and I know what
cutting
you're
and
talking
trimming
about.
of trees within the highway right-of-way of Green River Road adjacent to the property of E. Connor Hannon is necessitated by the installation, operation, and maintenance of new aerial utility line to be located along said road.
I wonder if that's the cabin. The
It's been sitting, the
yes,
A-frame one?
the A-frame.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
that
would be
is.
that one. Okay.
Yep.
Because
Look at them, go down.
Before,
just above Patty's
right-
Riverside property there.
Yeah.
it's
Patty.
past
right-
hers,
right
but
after-
before Detra's, right?
Right, no,
Yeah.
right after Detra's.
Oh,
Yeah, well, depending which way you're going, I'm coming from this end. It's before Detra.
Yeah, okay.
It's between Good and Detra.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously on the left.
Unless you're coming the other way, it's between Detra and Good.
And it's on the right.
That pole almost went in the river with Irene. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Tell the driver, right.
So, and they've been attempting to contact the property owner, but to no avail.
He's out in.
So my guess they'll probably do the work and then kind of backtrack it in. So, if someone would like to put a motion out there,
Motion out there.
sure. I would like to make a motion that we approve the tree cutting and trimming within our right-of-way by Green Mountain Power per their notification.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay.
TE program, Green River Covered Bridge, draft purpose and need statement, draft resource plan, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
this is, there's not a whole heck of a lot to it.
Okay.
It's basically restating the exact same work that was stated in the grant application that's been
Yeah.
stated as the work that,
Yeah.
thank you. that is required, and there's a little
We'll have more cake
resource.
later, you know.
Yeah, Ian's got more birthday cake. Don't run out.
Katie's gift you gotta have.
You poor man. The abuse is relentless in Guilford. And there's a resource map. Really, there's no bells and whistles. I was just going to email them back and say that everyone's good to
Are
go.
they going to close, they're not gonna close the bridge, right? Or,
They might have
I
to.
think they might, said they
They
might
might have to.
during the work period.
Yep.
That's for the wall, correct?
And that's in
No,
2014.
this is for the bridge itself. Yeah,
Well,
it'll be in 2014. So, if someone wants to just pass a motion saying that we reviewed it and have no concerns, that would be great.
And what we're reviewing is it's
Scope
really,
of work,
okay.
Draft resource
Yeah.
plan.
the purpose and need, which I went to attend the
Mhm.
Cover Bridge Committee meeting when they reviewed it, and it was funny because when they were talking about alternatives, it's like, what alternative is there? What are you going to do to the bridge? It's pretty much a facelift, and they were so thankful that our project was pretty much as simple and straightforward as it is. They praised the town for maintaining the bridge as they have for as long as they have, and they praised the town for being proactive in its maintenance and its rehabilitation.
I'd like to
So-
make the motion that we sign the draft proposal and need statement for the draft resource plan for the Green River Covered Bridge Transportation Enhancement Program.
Thank you, I meant second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Have a little bit.
I got to sleep about 3 this morning.
Oh, yeah, well, that's,
After 6:30, my flight came in very, very late.
yeah.
So that, just to kind of piggyback on that, at the first agenda item for the next meeting will probably be the alternatives presentation, which is
Which
pretty
there is
much.
none. All right.
We've
It's
been
pretty
through
limited.
those
We'll make that a
before.
long
It was going to
presentation.
be a second, like a whole separate meeting, but honestly, it's so minimal, it doesn't make sense to even have it as anything but an agenda item.
We appreciate that,
So-
thank you.
Okay. Hopefully the engineer will also appreciate it. Okay.
Okay.
No, I'll just
Okay.
email them it per board.
Notice
Yeah,
of
sign it.
education tax
That's okay.
rates.
We got the education tax rates for fiscal year 14, so we're a step closer to setting the tax rate. We can't do that until the grand list is lodged, which it was delayed in being lodged.
They did our education tax rate went up, of course.
It did. 3.5% for the homestead rate. It was last year. It was 1.7264. This year it's 1.7856. The non-residential tax rate last year was 1.6748. This year 1.6941. So
Is there any action?
there
needs?
is no action. There isn't.
Highway, I think,
An update? I don't have.
well, I know we're starting to get a few complaints on the rough roads, but you can't grade them in the rain and you can't grade them when it's dry, so we need there's not too many of them in bad shape, there's only a couple.
Eli had a theory as to why there were potholes. Eli had a theory about potholes.
Did he?
Yeah, his theory was that a tree had come and fallen, the trunk had fallen in the road and made a hole in the road. I just thought I'd share that with you.
Oh, good. Try to explain that to us. I thought one
Then I
day,
tried to tell him what they did come from, and I found I couldn't, so I just stopped at that. So I don't think it's trees ramming into
it's
the
in the,
road.
it's in the gravel.
Yeah.
What, a pothole? What makes?
Yeah,
I mean, I
but
know
you
about
get-
the.
You get two kinds of gravel. Some of it has potholes in it, the other kind has washboards in it. It all depends.
See, the dog goes on Taylor Lane.
Thank you
I
so
could have
much.
my
I
dad
feel
come
so
over
much.
and give him a physics lesson on it.
Yeah.
if you
Okay.
want.
Potholes are caused by a little tiny hip like this, and the next car comes along and it's a little bit bigger. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Speed, really. Speed and brakes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
Really? I know that's what
Application
causes washboard. I didn't know. about that.
washboards caused by heavy feet.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys.
On the uphill it's
Tandem.
acceleration, and on
Yeah,
the downhill
yeah.
it's brakes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any more?
Seriously?
And they did
You had too
some
much cake.
ditch work down on Hot Weather Hall Road today. I don't know if they mowed there in the mowing roadside. I don't know if they did today or not. Being Monday, you know. Today.
Any
Dan
more?
was out checking roads this afternoon looking for
Yeah,
washout.
there was checking culverts and stuff like that. So
Any progress on tractor stuff?
I don't know.
Okay.
These, it was
checking.
just sort of a fishing trip to see whether there was something out there worthwhile
Okay.
trading
Didn't know if
off.
there was any.
I think he did get a trade-in value on what we have, but
Yeah, I saw a few repair bills come through for that.
yeah,
So.
yeah. Uniform municipal excess weight permit,
None.
none.
I just leave it on there now, so I don't have to think.
Finance.
I would like to make the following motion. I'd like to make the motion that we pay payroll of $630.13 for $4,645.45. Payroll of $7,713 for $4,232.68.
86.
What'd I say?
You said 68.
I did. That's my dyslexia. You know that thing. 86. Thank you, Richard. For a total of payroll for $8,878.31. Along with that, warrant number 24 for $30,330.87. No second warrant?
No, we didn't have any.
That's it.
No fishing licenses?
No, because of the holiday week.
Oh,
just a
yeah,
little
that's
bit.
right. For a total of payroll and warrant number 24 for $39,209.18.
What about the, before a second, I was looking at our minutes from our last meeting, there were,
It's all in that one warrant.
okay,
warrant.
so the bills
Yep.
that were for fiscal, for the
They
last.
got out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll second.
All in favor?
But they're reflected in that warrant.
In
So
this
you'll
one.
see the dates. Yeah.
Right.
I
No,
came
that's
in,
fine, I just
yeah.
knew we had a little, to make sure things got paid.
I closed the year and then I processed them and then put them
Okay.
on the warrant. You can take that.
Another thing that this made me think about, just looking at the payroll, how's Barbara Hunt doing?
Okay. I haven't gotten an update this week for her.
All I know, she's home, and I said something about talking to Doug, and I said your father's probably got his earplugs in, and he said he couldn't be driving the damn tractor anyway. So.
And also, you guys heard about Shirley Squires, that she had some surgery.
She's not doing well, is she?
Which
She,
one?
Shirley, my Shirley Squires, Shirley Maynard.
Did you get that one?
Well, I spoke to Donna last week, and she had had a pretty rough go of it post-surgery, but Donna said she was doing better. Now, I haven't called her since I've gotten back to see if she's still in the
All
hospital.
right, yeah.
I'll keep you posted.
Okay, yeah. That comes under the Grange, is anybody sick or in distress, you know? Oh, you know.
Right. I
Can-
thought you'd want to know.
Yeah, okay, yeah, 'cause the other Shirley Squires didn't do well either. Down here.
Oh, really?
No. Communications, yeah, I'll tell you afterwards.
All right.
Oh, that's me.
Thank you.
Wastewater permit issued for the Tontine building for connecting to municipal water. Wastewater permit application submitted for Department of Forest Park and Recreation for a new dump station upgrade at Fort Dummer. And then a wastewater permit application submitted for Oaks on Sweet Pond Road for a new 4-bedroom house to be constructed.
Huh.
Supposedly that's gonna have a better view than the original Oak house, it says way up back.
And then, Ross Oaks' house is going to be better than that?
Anything else?
Is that Jim Oaks doing that? Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think that,
Nothing else.
That makes a motion to adjourn.
all in favor?